we have a quorum, so I guess we need to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, you don't have to stand up, Paige. Oh,
They-
you're up there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Took care of that.
And can you tell me who PIL is?
That's what I was just gonna ask.
I think that's probably Tammy.
Tammy.
Okay,
Yeah, who's
all
It's an
right.
office.
Tammy, I just want to put you in as a guest in our minutes.
Just say technical difficulties person.
okay. Hopefully we won't need that. I'm not aware of any amendments to the agenda unless you guys have any. Okay.
No.
I'm
Any,
gonna go get my phone. I'll be right back. I want to be able to see the agenda at the same time.
okay. Anybody have any information to share?
No, not for me.
I'll give you an update on the Methodist Church if you want it.
Sure, go ahead.
So they've been working on the sill for about 3.5 weeks.
Wow.
And they found some problems that they didn't expect. So one of the things was that the church, when they built it, they didn't put stones underneath anything.
Oh,
So there were stones this way, but there weren't stones this way. So when they dug it out, the reason that the corner was sitting on the dirt was because the corner was sitting on the dirt. No stone to hold it.
wow.
Oh, wow.
So we've had to go ahead and purchase some, I think it's called curbing stone or something like that. And then new granite blocks to make sure that they're big enough and strong enough to hold it up. So it's more work and more money than we expected, but
Yeah, it
we're
always
trying to
is.
stay in budget. So he's giving us a break on it. So hopefully we'll still stay in budget, but
And is this
We'll
the guy
see.
from down southern Maine?
Westbrook.
Westbrook. I was thinking
Okay.
somebody way down south.
He
Yeah.
works in Buxton. He's got a church in Buxton. He just finished up. So
Oh, okay.
maybe that's why.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I was thinking somebody you had working on it was pretty far away, which
Oh,
maybe
Les
the roofer.
Fossil's Alma. Were you thinking of him?
the guy, who's the roofer from? Where was he from?
Oh, I think he's from Westbrook too, but like Leamington or someplace like that is there.
Maybe it was that guy.
I think they're actually in Westbrook, but
Oh,
yeah, so we'll be getting done, but as he said today, now the weather's turned. So it's gonna slow him down more.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but we'll get there.
Wow.
okay. Yeah, I just have a couple of quick things. I think I told you this at our last meeting, but in case I didn't, I wanted to say it again. And Lois helped on one of our assignments in the comp plan was to get some old pictures and put them up, and we framed several with descriptions, and they're in the town hall. So if you're in there, take a look.
Apparently they put a couple of them in the Eureka
I
Hall too.
think they did.
I
Yeah,
think that's what somebody said when I was in there at one point.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. And Tammy's here, so let you all know, finally, we're going to be able to finalize getting all the surveys we did, getting a database with all of the surveys. So that's a good thing too. Okay, moving on to continuing business and okay. I have there. Oh, the ordinances membership. There are requests to have 2 more alternate members passed. So, and we can kind of do whatever we want, but one of the things Ruth said was that Oh, we could put it in the news blast, advertise it that way. And we may not want to do it till after whatever the town meeting is, when we can kind of look at our organization. And the only other thing I would say is that Jim Cherry, quite a while ago, who's an older gentleman here in town, he's interested in it. So we'd want to make sure that he knew about it if he still was. But other than that, we can, Yeah.
That we have and let me see if I can find it on Facebook, we have a Facebook page
right,
that Seth set up at some point for us. And I don't know why it keeps popping up on my Facebook thing, but a lot of people have liked
I've looked
that
at it. Yeah,
in the
I
last
know.
while. I have no idea how to do anything with it or put any more on it, but that would be a place we could put something, because obviously people are interested, but yeah, I have no idea what Seth did. Somehow
No, but
he did it and put us all on there. I don't know how he did it.
right. And it's probably something we want to think about, doing some more with it at some point.
Yeah, maybe we can just ask Seth to do it from afar.
He might be willing.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not somebody with that kind of knowledge or expertise or anything. We need
No.
to find somebody who was good at that. But yeah, because I keep getting, with you guys do too, keep getting the notices that people have looked and they like it and whatnot. And that kind of said to me, we really ought to think about putting some more stuff on or whatever.
Right.
But anyway, we can add, who are our 2 alternate members now? Anybody know?
Is Anita one of them?
I don't think so.
Oh,
No.
Pages, aren't you an alternate now, Paige?
I thought I was an alternate, but I'm the secretary, so I didn't know if that-
It's all right. It's okay.
Well, I'm happy to be an alternate. I could just switch whatever. I'm not, but I'm happy to be one. I could switch. I don't know.
I think it's Mary. I think it is Mary.
Was it Mary?
You and Mary, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, after what would be the April town meeting, that's when we can, put it out there about 2 more members and any reorganizing we want to do, kind of thing. Okay. Okay. And then we've got members, where did I put that? And their terms. Okay, because we have to make sure that people who need to re-up go and take the oath again. And the only one for 2021 is Anita. So Linda, will you tell her she needs after April 13th? Ruth said to me, after what would be the town meeting, she has to go take the oath again. And just so everybody knows, Linda, you're 2023, Paula, 2022, Paige, 2022, and Mary is 2023, Lois, 2022, and I'm 2022. And one thing, again, we can talk about this after the town meeting thing and reorganizing, that Ruth said if we wanted to, we could relook at some of those. We've got a lot of 2022 ones, and if we want to stagger it somehow, we could do that, so that that like we'd all have to, well, we can talk about how we want to stagger it, but she said we could do that with those memberships. But tell Anita in middle of April she needs to go do it again.
I will.
And will you just run through the years one more time for me? Because I didn't get pages, but if you'll just do them all, I'll try to make sure I've got them all right.
Linda's 2023, Paula 2022,
Mhm.
Paige is 2022,
Got it.
Mary's 2023, Lois, you're 2022, and I'm
Mhm.
2022.
I got them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And then 751 Royalsboro Road is the house directly across the street from me, where they put in that tiny little shed without, asking or doing anything. And Linda's working with them to
Yeah,
fill out the paperwork. But Linda, go ahead.
yeah, I haven't seen them because of the COVID and stuff, and I'm kind of in lockdown. But I thought they'd bring it into, the CEO. But I guess they haven't, so I'll get in touch with them and find out.
They need to bring it to us.
Oh, I thought it had to go to him first,
No,
and then he gave it to you.
no. Well,
Oh.
that is if it was something that had to go to him. If it
Oh, I
was big
see.
enough, and it's not, so it would just
Okay.
come to us.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
get in touch
You
with
might want to get in touch with them on the phone again. I had to run over there one day to ask a question, and she came at me with papers. So they may have already done some of it because I wasn't going for that. But you may want to get in touch with them again so we can just get that taken care of.
That's at the Hodges house?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Is that the people that own it now or the people that used to own it?
People that own it now, the Hodges
Are
used
the
to
Hodges?
No, the Hodges are the people used to own it.
used to own it.
Now it's
Okay.
Ben and Sammy's and
Yeah, they have a very unusual last name.
Okay, I'll call it Hodges House. It's got it. I
Hodges
got it.
house, that always works.
Okay,
It used to be the
And-
Litchfield House. We could call it Litchfield House.
right, there you go.
Called that for years, even when the Hodges owned it longer.
Right. And then the Union Church, I would just wanted to let you know that I asked Ruth where that was. The selectmen have done nothing about that committee that they talked about forming. So nothing has happened with that. And at one point, do you remember when everybody was talking about this, at one point they said that we had responsibility for it and the Historical Society could use it. And I said to her, you need to let us know what it is they think we're supposed to be doing. So she said she would ask them and let us know.
And that's the committee for the Union Church
Right,
that they haven't made any motion on at all. Okay.
no. Haven't moved forward with that. Okay. We actually didn't do the acceptance of the minutes as I look at somebody want to make a motion?
I make a motion to accept.
Second,
We need to accept November's minutes as well.
we
We
do,
didn't do them in December when we had our guest.
okay.
We need
So,
to accept November's and January. No, wait.
no, December,
December and November's.
okay.
Can I
Linda,
make a motion to accept November and December? Is that okay?
yes, I'll second it. Okay. All right. Now we get to some of the tough stuff.
No, we have to vote on that.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. All those in favor? Aye.
Well, I guess. I haven't read them yet, but
Opposed? Okay,
A reaction. There.
okay.
later, I guess.
Okay. And the other stuff on the agenda has to do with the four comp plan things that we talked with Megan Rideout about. And I just have to say, I'm really frustrated on a couple, I don't know, just in some of those things, we're being asked to do things that are way over our head and our,
Yes.
and also to do it during COVID is just ridiculous. In some ways, I think we ought, and it's up to whatever you think, that we at least ought to let the selectmen know we haven't forgotten about it. We're working on it, but it's going to take longer with COVID and with what they're asking us to do because it's way over our heads. I don't know, or do you think we just keep our mouths shut and keep going? Anybody have any thoughts?
Do you think that they actually are gonna come and check and see how much we've done in the time slot? I mean, I'm wondering if that was just like I've said, I think they copied that from some other well, Paige, you would know, where did
Right.
all that come from? All those things we're supposed to do,
I'm not on mute, right?
right?
No, we're here.
Okay. So those came from like when I think Jake and I had come to interview the commission. It's just things that were brought up from the commission, like things that we wanted to work on, like the preservation commission is just like other words of saying, remember how Seth used to always talk about putting different houses around town in their own little zone? Well, that's the legal term of what he was suggesting. So honestly, I don't think the selectmen are ever going to ask us if we've done any of this. I don't think they really even care.
I bet they don't even know
Don't
what's
even
in it.
remember.
No, and I like, yeah. And so it's honestly just it's not something that we're going to get in trouble for if we don't get it done. And I mean, COVID's a good excuse of saying, this is a lot of work, and
Right.
it would be a lot of work even if it wasn't COVID season. So
What about where the comp plan committee, do you guys, is part of your role or responsibility to look at it as?
yeah, that's what so you're supposed to, and like the committee's supposed to keep up. But
Yeah.
I mean, the comp plan hadn't been redone since, 20 years ago, and it was never
Right.
accepted from then. It's more just a vision. They're like vision statements and what the
Okay,
town wants. I honestly, I think it's just pressure we'll put on ourselves to get these things done. I don't think anyone's going to come to us and say, well, you didn't do this. Like,
right.
you don't, whatever.
Yeah.
We need to get it done, but I think it's only our own self pressure that's gonna make us do it.
Well, and I'm guessing right now the selectmen are gonna they're in the muck of budget and stuff. So if we go in there, that we're likely to just annoy them that we're saying we're
Yeah.
not doing our stuff. I mean,
Right?
I'm thinking we just kind of,
Be quiet.
The select board finished the budget on Tuesday night.
oh,
Now it goes to the board, now it goes to the town.
Right, right.
but there won't be a town meeting, and I guess
No, it goes to referendum.
there won't be town meetings anymore, right?
Goes to a referendum of
Oh.
a vote. All the ordinances and everything are gonna go on a ballot.
Oh,
So when we met with Megan,
Yeah.
she made the point that her organization could help at lots of the points where we're
Right.
On our heads.
where we don't have the capacity to do the work because we don't know what the work is and we don't know the information about it. I mean, like when I look down through the minutes from that meeting with her, she said several times, and she gave us names of people, Mike Johnson,
I've talked to him.
Andrew Decky, DC, I don't know how you pronounce his last name.
Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, we've got all
Right.
different places we can go. It seems like without the direction from the select board that we should take advantage of those resources.
Right. I'd kind of like to suggest, we talk about these points and maybe pick one thing that right now we feel like we might be able to move forward on. Was that, because a lot of these, we need to work with them, meet with them, work together, not over Zoom, that kind of thing. So anyway, the first one, advise and assist individual property owners on available federal and state tax credits for historic preservation and assist them in the application process. Okay. She suggested talking to Mike Johnson, who's the person who's kind of in charge of that. And I called him and talked to him, and I passed on to you guys what he sent to me.
Mhm.
And one of them is a brochure kind of thing. Both Mike and Megan said that helping them is way over our heads, that they usually recommend that folks hire a consultant. And one of the things he sent was a list of consultants. So, you know, this, and it's only on income producing properties. It's not just on any old house. It's only on income producing properties. So, you know, and that's something we'd have to talk about, I guess, I don't know, with Selectmen or whatever, in terms of down the road, that all we might do is, you know, pass on that brochure or say, here's who you talk to at Maine Historic Preservation, and not take on ourselves any other responsibility other than that we can give that information to people. That, anyway, anybody have anything else to say about that one?
No, I think that's good. So let's just mark that one off our thing. We're done.
Yep.
Well, we'd have to put out some information to the townsfolk, but not take on assisting people with it, you know, kind of thing. I mean, we're talking about like maybe the inn. What else would be an income producing property?
I guess my feeling is I'm not sure we need to advertise that it can be done. I think it's letting the people at the town office know that if somebody came to them and wanted the information, then it was given. But I'm not sure we want to put it out there. Like, I think people in town could get confused with that. Too much information, too much to them.
Well, if we put it out, we'd have to be very, very careful about how we put it out and whatnot, because I think it's also only for properties that are on the National Historic Register or eligible to be on the register. It's not just any,
Right.
you know, old property. So, but I don't think that's really one that we want to take on doing anything about right now. All right, the next one. Revise the historic district ordinances to consider making it a historic protection ordinance that applies to all listed structures in Durham, both inside and outside of the current historic preservation district. And there's a long list of towns: Augusta, Topsom, Wiscasset, Camden, Castine, Phippsburg, Yarmouth, Damascotta, Rockland, and Searsport that have been mentioned in different conversations. And I've looked at some of them. I don't really think this is something we want to do anything about right now. This is really something that it needs to happen when we can get together and look at things and really talk about it and have them come and help us, kind of thing. This is, you know, that's my feeling. But our big decision really would have to be, the biggest decision is, if we're going to move forward to expand it, are we going to have other districts in town? Or are we going to talk about just individual properties, like maybe only those on the National Historic Register? I don't know. What are people's thoughts about that?
Well, I think from in the past, the conversation has been that people in town probably won't go for it. So maybe it would
Right.
be more individual properties like the Eureka Center or like the Methodist Church, when you know, or just specific, the cattle pound, specific places that we could maybe do. Because I think the thought's always been that, you know, I mean, I think it'd be great if you could include from the Eureka Center all the way down to the current historic district, because you've got an old schoolhouse in there and you've got some really old houses in there. But I guess the thought is that won't ever happen. So plus it'd be nice to preserve some of that land that's right there, but you know. So that's, yeah, I just don't, I'm not sure. I think in an ideal world, it'd be nice to have different areas like the Methodist corner, you know,
Right.
around the Methodist.
Shiloh area, Methodist Corner. I mean, there are a few places, like maybe near the Friends Meeting House. There are a few places in town that could be districts, but you know, whether
Right.
people would want to go that direction, you're right.
I mean, it would be nice to somehow capture Shiloh in a way that, I mean, I think when we went on that tour, the talk was that, you know, they don't have enough money to you know, I think they have a struggle trying to keep those buildings up.
Mhm.
And I think COP has a gravel pit not far from there. He's attempted to buy their property before. So, you know, if somebody was to buy it, they could tear it down, which would be a horrible shame because that's pretty
Right.
expensive. That's unique to Maine. So,
Right. Well, there is also something, you talk about tearing down, there's something called a demolition delay ordinance that, I mean, we could put something like that in our ordinances if we wanted to, where if somebody was going to tear down an old building, it was a 90-day, you know, delay. And if somebody else wanted to do something about it, you know, they could, that kind of thing. But again, looking at the ordinances is a major, major undertaking. I don't think that's something my own feeling is that's something we don't want to do right now. I don't know what the rest of you think. Some of the other ordinances that I looked at are much more, oh, what do I want to say, detailed about, you know, these are the things that you can do to a structure. Here are the things that you can't do without coming for permission, and much more detailed about the process as well than our ordinances are. I don't know that we need to do that, but in looking at some of them that, you know.
I would think that not reorganizing ordinances unless we, like, if we switch to a protection ordinance, that's when we would overhaul them. If
Right.
that makes sense. Like we wouldn't do anything, we wouldn't change any ordinances now if we're going to work towards changing from a district to a protection.
Let me ask you, Paige, about that protection, because that's not what any other ordinances are. All the other ordinances are preservation.
That's what I thought it was, but I thought it was preservation. I thought it was a historic preservation.
But in the ordinance, it actually says protection. But so that's something, you know, we might want to talk to the comp committee about or something, because preservation is really what all the other towns, that's what they are. However,
Yeah, I don't think like, so I don't know how to say it, like the comp committee's not gonna, like, we're no longer anymore. There's no committee anymore. Like we've
oh,
adjourned.
really? Okay.
Yeah, like we're not a committee, like you know, it's over now. So stuff like this is like, we would just take it on and just, if we want it to be a historic preservation district, that's what we go towards.
Okay.
yeah, because I mean, it got accepted by the town as it's written now.
Right.
So
Right.
if it's written now as whatever you said,
Protection.
protection, then we would have to go back, probably sounds like we'd go back to the town and, well, we want to change it.
And that would just be changing it like in the comp plan, like.
But it would have to go to the town to approve it, right?
Well, any changes.
I mean, if you
Right.
wanted to change it in the comp plan itself, but like,
Oh, the wording,
we-
it doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. Like yeah, right. Like it's just, if we want to work towards a preservation, if that's what we work towards, because like you say, like, I'm not sure exactly. It can be something we can ask George. George would know because he's the one that edited it and put it into
Is he the
this
town
language.
planner? That's
Yeah.
the new town planner?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The next one is actually about doing a survey. Work with Maine Historic Preservation Commission to assess the need for a comprehensive community survey of the community's historic and archaeological resources. Okay, well, some of you who here when we worked with Chris Kloss, who told us that that's the very first thing you need to do is to do a survey. And we did. And obviously the database still has to be finalized. I will say that in my conversation with Megan, when I told her we had decided to do everything 1920 and before, she said, you ought to be doing 1970 and before, anything that's older than 50 years. So, you know, whether we want to get into that again at this point, I don't know, but I'm just throwing that out there. I did talk to the person also. I think it's Michael Goebel-Bain. Oh, he said there's a something out there called Map Viewer, which this is way over my head, that he talked about, that it had, you can look at your town and it has markings where there are historic properties, and he would be willing to work with somebody to work them through that. I guess one of our things maybe that we want to know about is, because we've done all the structures, 1920 and before, but we obviously know, we can find out for sure which ones are on the National Historic Register or are eligible, but we also ought to get a list of what ones are important to the Durham's town history, so that we can put that kind of information out there. And he was willing to help somebody. The whole archaeological thing. Quite a while ago, Megan told me to talk to the Greater Portland Council of Governments about that. And they finally called me back today after leaving lots of messages. And they might be able to help us do some of this, looking at, structures in town that would be considered historical. But they said, and they are the organization that worked with the town to establish the district, the historic district, way back when. But they couldn't help with the archaeological stuff. I'm not sure just what we would do about that, except that this Michael Goebel-Bain, who I talked to at MHPC, also said that there are, and he could help people, find out about it, that there have already been some, survey is not really the right word, but any kind of things like putting in, the bridge that they did, or highway stuff, or like the towers for, electronic stuff, said that like the Department of Transportation and other departments have already looked at some of that kind of stuff, and they might have some information. But so I guess at this point, and you guys tell me what you think, we ought to, the first step would be to finish the database for what we've got right now, and then go from there. Do we want to do 50 more years? Do we want to pull out of there for special, recognition, National Historic Register, and, structures that have to do with town history? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Anybody?
In that survey, we didn't do any of the churches or anything, did we? We only did houses, right?
We did houses, but then after that, we asked, I think Lucille Hunt was the person who did it. We asked her to go out and do the churches. So we have the churches too.
Oh, okay. Because I think there's still a bit of a foundation for the mill over by Runaround Pond, I think. Or there used to be, whether much is left. I wonder if, it's those kind of places where the mills were.
Yeah.
And the cattle pound again, because if the rocks fall down in the cattle pound, that's it. I don't even know who owns that piece of property.
Doesn't Faith Baker? She lives down there, I think.
Oh, I don't know. So,
But I think you're bringing up something that we ought to think about in terms of, do we want to identify some of the, important spots or structures or, kind of thing that are important to the history of the town?
yeah.
Okay. All right. The last thing was improved coordination between the code officer, planning board, and historic district commission in incorporating information provided by the Maine Historic Preservation Commission in the permit review process. This is the one that I think might not be too difficult to happen. We talked with the town planner and got those three groups together. It would be easy enough to, put something in writing for what happens if, something, well, we already have something with the code officer in terms of the district. But I don't know. But that, I think Megan said that, that the state has a process for this kind of thing and we would need to get it. But anyway, I don't know, looking at those things,
They're all kind of hard to do on Zoom.
yes, they are, absolutely. I totally agree. Anybody have any thoughts about what, obviously we're gonna finish the database for the survey kind of thing.
Yeah, and I guess in order to do any kind of a process where if somebody wants to demolish a building, and to at least let us know that 90-day kind of thing, that's a whole nother can of worms, is it for us to do?
Yeah, well, because right now, I don't know, we'd have to ask the town planner, I guess, if it could be in any other ordinances. Because in ours, it would only be in the district right now.
Yeah. Do you remember, way back when Paul Baines was on the committee, he talked about, they couldn't build next to within a certain number of feet of an old house, or I can't remember now what he told us. And that was kind of to, there was kind of a little bit of a pacifier of, well, don't worry, they can't. Do any of you remember him talking about that?
I vaguely remember it, and he was talking just about the district at that point.
Well, no, because I think it was further out, because I remember being worried about the Methodist church and stuff. And I thought he said something about, and it's in the town ordinances that can't, but I have no idea what it was and where it is. And yeah.
I vaguely remember him talking about that, but I don't remember specifically either. We'd have to ask, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, I go back to the same old, that, it's fine to make the survey, but it sort of feels like we should be able to protect some of the buildings in case that somebody decides to tear something down, or just, Shiloh, for instance, or parts of Shiloh, at least some mechanism where they have to let somebody know that they're going to do. I think you have to get a demo permit, I guess. I don't even know what, at what stage people have to get a demo permit, but, so that, and who knows if the codes officer would think to tell us, oh yeah, that, 300-year-old house down on thing that they're going to demolish that. We wouldn't be told.
Well, we certainly could meet with the town planner and ask about that. If there's any way to do anything about that.
Yeah.
Probably would have to go through town meeting.
Thinking of, the one on Quaker Meeting House, Linda, that got taken down.
Yeah.
And other ones.
I don't think he didn't let anybody know. I think he just went and did it, actually.
Yeah, well, I think what happened, well, we probably don't need to go there. We go over that all, but I mean, it's just something like that is what I was thinking about. And I don't know, something on the Durham Facebook page, somebody was asking how, did they have to, if they want to demo they called it a shed on their property, if they want to demo it, who would demo it? And I thought, yeah, there's another, sure, it's just a shed, but what if somebody decides, I just want to demo the barn that I have in my back, they can do that without,
So
You
that
have to
would be,
get a permit
that's
in
the-
most towns. I don't know whether Durham you do, but in Freeport, you have to get a permit to demo.
yeah, I don't know if you do in Durham. That's the thing. I have no idea. And whether people actually do it, but because the comment on that Facebook thing was, we'll hire the fire department to come burn it, and another example of a house that got taken down was the one on, I don't know, what's the road? I call it the Swamp Road, but between 125 and the Meadow Road, I think it's got a different name. There was an old,
That's Soper.
that's
Soper,
Soper? So there was an old house there. I didn't
Right.
think it was that old, but it was Anita that said it was old, and it did have granite foundation. So
The foundation's there.
I think the fire department maybe burned that one down, but we didn't document it in any way. That's, I guess my thing is a way that to me should be our biggest thing we do, is to at least document the buildings that are coming down.
so
Or the
that,
ones that
that's the
you-
reason to move towards a preservation commission, because then
Right.
it protects, that's the reason
We have
for,
no say about them now
Right.
outside the district.
like, if that's,
Right, Paige,
Yeah.
go ahead.
no, like, if that's like our biggest concern is, people taking down old structures and stuff, that's something we probably should focus on, is going to a preservation commission, because it'll protect more than just the district.
Yeah.
It'll protect Shiloh, it'll protect the Methodist church, and with that, I'm sure the ordinance has changed to saying that there's needs to be a 90-day demo. It would completely change the whole town, of course, and that's something obviously that needs to go to town meeting. But even if we want to add in a 90-day demo, that we need to be notified of it, that would have to go to town meeting. It's not something that just
Right.
we can just throw out there.
So I mean, I guess the option is, in another year, they're gonna have a town manager, so then there won't be a town meeting, so maybe the whole process will be easier to switch the ordinance when just the town manager, I assume then it's the town manager and selectmen do everything? Then that how it works?
I don't know.
No, that's not, is that true?
I don't know.
I
I
thought
don't-
the whole point of a town manager is you don't have town meeting anymore. So then,
They make up, he'd just change.
he makes all the decisions.
she makes all the decisions.
I don't know, but I guess okay, so that leads into my other thought, is perhaps we need to have a little bit of input on who the selectmen select, because it would probably be important to have somebody who has at least, maybe somebody who's not from Boston, or, someone who has an interest, a desire to preserve the historical part of Durham and all that entails, and yet keep it in a budget that the people of Durham can afford, because we're not Falmouth and Cumberland and Freeport.
So did you submit your name to that committee? They've been advertising for people to submit their names,
Right.
sit on the review committee for the town manager.
Oh, I didn't.
Been on Facebook like 27,000 times,
I haven't
and in
I know.
the town news.
And we did go to the meeting and tell them that we thought that the town manager ought to have some appreciation of the history and blah, blah, blah. But it would be even better to have somebody on the committee.
Wow. Lois, are you going to be on that committee?
I'm not saying I have a problem with it.
Oh, okay.
I'm hearing you.
So you didn't turn in your name, Lois?
I did not.
Ah,
When's the deadline?
I don't know.
I can submit it. I'm pretty sure after the way well,
Yeah, I
they weren't happy with me at the budget committee, so
Oh,
I'm not sure they'll put me on another committee.
yeah, they won't be happy with me either, Lois, so I'm not sure, not sure I want the frustration of being on it, you know? But,
Depends on if I know any of them, any of the people that apply.
Hmm.
yeah, and then again, trying to do it all on Zoom, I hate this. So, but who
Oh, I agree.
knows how long that will, I guess as soon as we all get a vaccine for those.
I
of
had
us-
mine, my first one,
Oh, cool.
Tuesday morning.
I did
How do you
Good.
feel?
on Monday.
Do you do?
It's fine. I mean, my arm hurt a little bit where they stuck it in, but other than that, nothing. But I understand that the reactions for the second one
It's
are,
worse.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do you know
We'll
which
see.
one you had?
Pfizer.
I
You
had
did.
Moderna.
You had the
Yeah.
Moderna one? Did you have a reaction at all?
I just had a sore arm.
Yeah. Ah. Well, ladies. um, Advising individual property owners, reviewing the ordinances, working the survey, and coordination with the codes planning board and whatnot. Coming out of this meeting, what do you think? I mean, we can talk to the town manager about the demolition thing and see if there's anything, any place it could go other than our ordinances moving forward. And I would guess that there probably is some place that could go in the town ordinances. We can ask.
You want to ask them, Candy?
All right, I'll ask him. Okay. What else about anything going forward from this meeting? Anything at all you think we might do?
No, I vote for having, shuffling this around on the paperwork until we are done with Zooms, and then we have this Megan come back and we look at it. We ask the new town manager to come sit in on our meeting and say, okay, how much of this you really want us to do? Because that's, what it's really gonna amount to.
Anyone else? Because I was thinking that we might be able to do that last one and ask the town manager or planner rather, to start with, to get the codes officer, planning board and our commission, together for some little meeting where we might be able to talk about how, we'd communicate. That one wouldn't be that difficult.
Well, it would on Zoom, but
Well, it might, yeah. But anybody else have any thoughts?
I mean, I think that's a good idea. I think even doing it on Zoom, I don't think it's that difficult as long as
Well, we're
people are
not,
focused on it. I mean, I think we can do it. If we want to move forward on anything, I think that's the one that's going to be.
well, that's kind of the way I
easy.
felt, that of all of them, that was the easiest one to do. something
Otherwise,
about.
just wait till.
Right.
right.
Well, if I'm
Can't
going
think
to
of
talk,
anything that doesn't use a swear word in it, so I won't even finish that sentence.
when I talk
We'll
to
just
the
wait.
town planner about demolition, I'll ask him also about the possibility of those three boards, commissions, whatever, getting together to talk about that. And we'll see if there's,
Do
You know
any
what?
of you know, do you know when they're planning on hiring a town manager? Or like do you know what the?
I
was
don't
the
know.
timeframe?
do you know?
Hold on. Just gonna find it. I think, and because this is taking longer than I think it is like May. It's pretty quick after
After
the
town meeting?
I think.
Okay.
I friended somebody that I should never have friended because apparently all she does is be on Facebook.
She's home and doing nothing.
Kidding. It's a radio station. You think she'd be busy.
Oh,
Okay.
But like
so-
things like ordinances and stuff would still have to be voted on by the town. That's not something
I
the
would-
town
I
manager
would
just.
think.
But how?
Yeah.
But it might end up being in a referendum kind of thing or whatever.
Right, okay.
Or
Yeah.
or the manager recommends it to the board of the select board, and then the select board determines. I mean, it's going to be a different governmental structure once we have a town manager. So
Right, we'll see. Okay. So coming out of this meeting, two things, I will see the town planner and ask about if there's anything in any of the ordinances about demolition. Or if there isn't, could there be something like that that it would have to go through somebody's ordinances at town meeting, I would think, but I'll ask. And then the business about the planning board code officer and the commission getting together to talk about how they would communicate with each other. Anything else, ladies? And we'll work on some of the other things when we can actually get together or do something.
And are we supposed to start coming up with alternate people to do the alternates
Well, that,
after what's
After-
supposed to be town meeting? 'Cause it
right,
wasn't-
we'd advertise,
Oh,
yeah. And certainly if anybody knows anybody who wants to do it, you can tell them just to, let the town office know. I'm not exactly sure how they'd,
was somebody gonna try to reach out to Jeff Wakeman for that?
Anita said she was,
Anita, yeah, talked about that.
I'll have to
Well.
ask her that too.
Tell her that too, Linda.
I think we assigned that to Anita because I haven't seen, Anita hasn't been at a meeting in a while,
Well, she doesn't have computer.
right?
Oh, And she was coming to my house today, but she's not feeling well. And the last time she tried to do it by phone.
And
but she
couldn't make it
couldn't get
happen,
through.
right? So.
Hmm.
So we'll ask her, I mean, when we put it out there, she can ask Jeff. And we should let that Jim Cherry know since he was interested. Who knows where that would go, but he was interested. Ah. Well, we'll have a lot more to do when we can actually get together again and do something.
Yeah.
Oh, that little baby's been so good. Babe.
And she's good, the good sister so far.
How old is she, Paige?
6 weeks.
Wow.
Wow.
She's sleeping through the night?
No,
Oh,
No.
okay.
no, not yet.
she's 16, isn't it?
Oh,
16 before you sleep through the night.
Yeah.
Do they ever? I think it's when they move out of the house and go to college.
Yeah.
no, they don't ever sleep through the night then, but that doesn't affect you. They're
It's
very-
It's funny, I thought Maxine had been sleeping through the night, but now that I'm up at night, I can hear her at
Oh.
night and I hear her, and she'll be talking in her room. I'm like, I thought you've been sleeping this whole time.
Oh,
She's up quite a bit.
oh,
She just doesn't
Oh.
ask for me anymore.
oh.
She heard you guys talking. She's waking up.
No.
Good.
Okay, folks. That's really, I mean, there are, obviously, there are things we need to do, but now's really not the time to do them in the middle of all this.
Oh.
I think we can regroup too once the weather's nicer.
Right.
you know.
Don't even meet outdoors if we had to.
Yeah, this is just a hard time right now.
Right.
Yeah,
We can meet at my new little tiny house.
where's the tiny house gonna be?
It's on my side yard right now. I
I
bought
love
a page.
I love where it is.
Oh,
What are you
Well,
gonna
not
do
for
with
me,
that?
yeah.
I didn't know you had a tiny house. What are you gonna do with it?
Use it as a studio.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
well,
Anybody have anything else?
no, Lois, you're on the budget committee now, right?
Yeah, we just finished on Monday night
Oh,
and we sent it to the select board and well, actually we finished last week and we sent it to the select board and then we met again on Monday night, and the select board went over the budget on Tuesday night and I believe it's finalized now.
Hmm.
And ready to go to the town meeting. They needed to get it. We needed to move really quickly this year because of the way that it's going to be presented. Because it has to be printed and, everything has to be in place before April. So yeah. And then today, I don't know if you saw, Candy, but today the state, or perhaps before today, but it only became public today. The state released their numbers for education next year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
that was interesting.
so is that gonna make our taxes go up?
Depends.
State's not gonna give Durham, the Freeport RSU 5 much money?
They're going to give them $400,000 less than they did last year.
Last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So somebody makes it up or we take cuts, which I can't imagine we can cut.
There are a few things that they're taking out. We just did our first look at the budget
Oh, you did?
Wednesday night. And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but the school budget is basically staying flat in terms of, percentage increase or decrease, that kind of thing. So they're making an effort. Yeah. But they have more money coming in from the CARES Act too.
Yeah.
So that's helping.
Enough money to buy two or more portables.
Portables, yeah.
What were the portables for?
That'll be so that it allows us, I want to say it's pre-K through 5, to come back full time.
Oh, into space the kids out?
Right. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get the minutes to you guys.
Thank you, Lois, very much.
Oh,
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Okay.